guys, Rob and Georgia here with you, aka VHS82 apostrophe, with day number 24 of our ongoing 31 days of horror. We are getting there, man. And it's like Christmas, you know, once you get to Halloween, man, and to the next day, and it's like, but the buildup is fun, right? So what do we got here, day 24? How about some He Knows You're Alone? Now I was watching, of all things, children shouldn't play with dead things. I don't know why. I was right in the middle of watching that and just got this thought. Oh, I know what it was. Because the scene at the end, when Alan pushes a girl into the arms of the zombies at the top of the staircase. I don't know why, but the scene in here when, I want to say her name's Nancy. Girl that ends up, she's lying on the floor with the headphones on. If you ever seen this movie, man, and the killer just slowly comes up. Now, see, as a kid, I remember that scene. I remember that it just seemed like the camera's up, looking down, and he comes and just kind of grabs her and put that. But the angle's different. It's not what I remember as a kid when I rented on VHS. But still, it's got to be one of the eeriest moments. She's got some vinyl on, she's got the headphones on, and she's just chilling out on the floor, and man, he just comes in, and next thing you know, man, rah, and it's just like, wow, he knows. This movie, man, this movie's one of those movies, when I rented it as a kid, it really freaked me out, man. There's just something weird going on with this movie. Okay, so you got a guy who's jilted, right? So his would-be wife leaves, decides not to marry him, and marries another. So he kills her. And you learn all of this right at the beginning. I mean, they lay all their cards out, and then they allow the suspense and the rest of the film to do what it does, which I think is a pretty darn good job, actually. And you notice who is in it? If you see him right there, Tom Hanks, of all people. Tom Hanks, first theatrical. Anyways, he's in it. One of his first movies, not the first movie he ever did. He just plays a good friend of one of our characters. So anyways, he has his, so he decides a couple years later, he comes out of retirement, I guess, and decides to pick it up again and start going after girls that are going to be married relatively soon. And he targets this one specific girl. And then the cop who has been trailing after him all these years, was the guy who was supposed to marry the girl that he actually killed, that we see at the beginning of the movie, right? So this is sort of the connection, right? It boasts of a pretty intriguing scene at the beginning, though. You got her, the main character. Yeah, I didn't write the character names down. Caitlin Henny, I think it is. Elizabeth Kemp are the two main girls. But anyways, at the beginning, a couple friends are at a movie theater, and the girls just absolutely getting freaked out. They're watching a scary movie. It's your typical girl gets out of the car only to see her boyfriend hanging, from a tree above the car kind of thing. And anyways, she goes out to use the restroom to kind of get away from the movie for a minute. But she has this sense that someone is staring at her, stalking her. So she ends up coming back down the stairs, or coming down. Yeah, it's one of those movie theaters. She comes back down, and she sits back down with her friend, and the killer comes in right behind, sits right behind her, and then right through the seat with a knife. And that's sort of your opening, which is pretty good. But the rest of the movie, man, it's like, this cop trailing after him and on the chase, and the main girl's fiance is at a bachelor party away. So her old lost love fling, Marvin, played by Don Scardino. Learned something interesting. I wondered if I had seen him before, so I IMDb'd him up real quick. Come to find out, he voiced Wedge Antilles in a made-for-PBS radio drama of The Empire Strikes Back, which aired back in 1983, runs about four hours and change on YouTube. It's on YouTube. It's some of the core members of The Empire Strikes Back reprised their roles and voiced them, but a few, they had to, for whatever reason, they couldn't do it, so they had to fill in the other spots with other dramatic actors. That is a pretty incredible thing to listen to. From 1983, a radio dramatization of The Empire Strikes Back. And Marvin actually voices Wedge Antilles, which is pretty cool. The guy who does the makeup in here worked on Friday the 13th, Piranha 3D, The Conjuring. So, he's still working. Runs an hour and 34 minutes. It is a little bit slow paced in areas, but 1980 film. But this is one of those movies that I have some good memories of, man, as a kid. It really, really freaked me out. There's a scene when Marvin works at a mortuary, and so she seeks refuge there at the end, and the killer. There's this great scene when she's hiding. Well, she's behind a door. He got the window on. He puts his hand right through there. Grab. It's kind of a scene you see in Stage Right. You've seen it a bunch of times in movies. You've seen it on Halloween, right? And that's probably where they all got it from, right? But Tom Hanks, interesting. If you want to see a movie where Tom Hanks gets his first major role, He Knows You're Alone. And the ending is a bit cliche, goofy. But, that's how most movies ended back then. So, on to day 25. That leaves, about a handful of days to the end. So, here we go. As always, go Bills.
This is not a dream. Not a dream.
We might be useful to you.